Welcome back, everyone. You are on Manier's page where you will find the best and premium tutorial vids on EGD, and on other days, we'll discuss other things. In today's video, we'll be completing an isometric drawing. We'll be converting an orthographic projection drawing into a 3D drawing. Now, I always emphasize this. The only way you'll get this work is if you practice, practice, practice. Let's go. The process of completing an isometric drawing is pretty standard. What you want to do first is to construct an isometric block using the length of your drawing, the height of your drawing, and the width of your drawing. I'll show you those in a couple of minutes. But after you've drawn this block, then you want to add detail to the block to complete parts of this object. Let's look at what that means in the drawing. The sketch that we need to make by the end of this lesson is as shown to us in the thumbnail of this video. But we need to understand this question from how it's asked in maybe, for instance, an exam setting or in a test setting. And most of the time, it is given to us as an orthographic projection. So let's start there and look at the orthographic projection and find out key information before we start drawing. Constructing this block means to work from A and provide or construct measurements from A to a certain direction. Now I'm looking at my front view. I want to construct from A going to the left. So now that I have the measurement of A going to the left, I go to my isometric construction and mark the distance. In this case, 100 millimeters. Then I want the height. That means from A going up. So from A, I draw a straight line at 90 degrees. Then I measure, in this case, a measurement of 65 millimeters. I take my 30-degree set square to complete the face of the front view. That means I'm drawing a parallel line to the bottom line. And then from the edge, I draw a straight line going up. Now I have the face of my front view projected. Next, I'd like to then draw the face of my right view on the right hand side of point A. In this case, I'm going to measure from A going to the right. Then I've got the same measurement as a height. So at that top point, I'm just going to draw a line at 30 degrees. Then close my block off on the right hand side. Now I've completed the face for the right view. No details yet, just light lines constructing this block. I'm going to close off the rest of the image by drawing the top face. That means now I'm going to close off from one point at 30 degrees and from another point at 30 degrees. I now want to create detail in my isometric block. So I'll create a point 1, 2, and 3. Now look carefully. My point 1 is right above my point A. So that means that when I go to my drawing from A, I will measure a certain distance upward to get point 1. Then to find point 2 is on the left hand side of 1. So I'll first draw a line at 30 degrees as a construction, then measure on that line the desired measurement, in this case 75 millimeters. Then looking for my point 3, which is right above my point 2 on my front view, which means again that from 2 going up at 90 degrees, I'll draw a construction line and then measure the desired measurement. In this case, all I need to do is to mark the intersection as 3. Then watch carefully as I continue to construct other parts of this block to complete the block. I want to begin to construct more detail for my drawing. So now watch as I use different views to make sense of the drawing. I'm looking at my right view and I can see that there is a thickness or rectangle here. When I look at the front view that corresponds with those points at point 1 going to point 3, I can see that this particular block is actually a wedge on the front view, where point 1 touches point 3. So on my drawing, I want to illustrate that by drawing from 1 to 3. Then look again, I focus on my right view and I look at the distance from left going to right, or rather from A going to the right, for the thickness of that rectangle. So I can see that thickness on the top view as 15 millimeters. Again, do you see I'm using more than one view to make sense of the drawing? So your understanding of orthographic projection will allow you to be able to put these different views together for a image that makes sense. Now I'm constructing that wedge, which is 15 millimeters from the top view and from the right view. I can see the same wedge on the other side looking at my right view and my top view. Look at how I follow with my fingers. Then I go to the drawing and I plot that. So from the bottom to the top, create the wedge. Then the thickness from the furthest part on the right going towards the left, I will measure my 15 millimeters. Look at that. And I do that at the bottom and do that at the top. So the emphasis here is always use directions to find points and always use point A as a reference. So if you need to move to the left, look at point A on your front view. If you need a point that's going to the right, look at from point A perhaps on the right view. Now I'm just completing parts of my drawing to create again an image that will make sense. In closing, I just want to mention the importance of practicing isometric drawings. Putting these three different views into one single object can be really, really difficult. So you need to understand certain principles. The first one is know your orthographic projection. You can't do these drawings without that understanding. Secondly, use reference points. In other words, look at directives or directions. So from point A, you want to find a particular point. Label that point if you have to. So if that point on a particular view, for instance, if you look at the front view, going to the left is a certain measurement, then go to your, so note that first, then go to your drawing and try to mimic or to reconstruct that on the drawing. Isometric drawings need practice. So continue to practice and put your knowledge to good use. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.